Some people might choose to call it the seven pillars of culture. Now, the reason why it is known or referred to as a mountain or a pillar, or whichever way you choose to understand it, is simply because to a great extent it affects the way human beings think. It affects or influences the way human beings relate to their internal and external environment. Now, going straight to the point, these seven mountains are: number one is religion, number two is education, number three is business. Number four is government. Number five is arts. Number six is the media. Number seven is the family. So I'm going to start from the bottom to get to the top. Now, number one of these mountains has to do with the family. We're meant to understand that the family is the basic building block of the society. The reason is this: every human on earth belongs to a family. Be it a human being or an animal, they all belong to what? A particular family. Now, if the parental upbringing in that very family is bad, to a great extent, it's going to show in the society at large. So, the family has to do with the mother, the dad, the siblings. What culture do we practice in our respective families? What are the values? What are the principles that guide parental upbringing? What are the morals that we live in our kids? Because the morals we teach them is what they grow with. So if we don't train them very well, it's going to affect the society. If we don't train them right from the family, it's going to affect a whole lot of things. Because they say charity begins at home, and what you don't have, you can never give it. So it is better we start approaching things from the family. Learn to train your kids well. The society is bad, everything is messed up, there's corruption here and there, people are being killed, people are being maimed. It's as a result of what we saw and what was bettered in the family. Some people never had a good home training, so they grew up with that mindset that since their family is that way, so probably that's how the external world is going to look like. So it could surprise you that the world is the way it is because of what we have in our families. Then secondly is religion. Now religion has to do with what beliefs and practice of human beings. To a great extent, basically in Africa, religion is something that people we don't really joke with in this part of the world. Now some thoughts, some beliefs and some myths about religion has really made us who we are. It's more of a contributing factor towards our progress. It can also be a factor that will lead towards our regression as a country. So it is good we practice religion and practice it in the right way. We should follow the right doctrines. We shouldn't just be only the listeners, but whatever we hear, we should be able to put it to practice. Then thirdly is government. Now government has to do with what? Policies, laws that establish states, communities, kindreds. Now, this government has to do with what? The rule of power. It could be the local system, it could be the federal system, or anything at all that has to do with what? Government. So, to a great extent, the society is influenced by what? Government policies, government actions. So, whenever we have a government in power that doesn't really understand sustainability, then it means that the society is going to be in for it. We're going to suffer the product of what we have. And when we don't have a good government, it means that the religion isn't really good. And when the religion is not good, it means something is wrong about the family. Then the fourth one has to do with what? Education. Now, education has to do with what? Means and modes of learning. Beyond the normal learning to how to write or learning to spell things and stuff like that. Education has to do with what? A thought system that we have in our mind. Now, this thought system controls the way we relate with our environment. It controls and affects the way we think or the way we choose to think. Whoever that is educated has a certain way of thinking. Like the degree of intelligence the person has is more way higher than other people. So to a great extent, education, both in school and outside of school, has contributed to what we have in the society today. Now the fifth item has to do with what? Business. Of course, a whole lot of people, the reason why they wake up in the morning is because they need to go to the shop. The reason why they wake up in the morning is because in the morning is because they need to make some cool money. Now, these very business mind, when they see you, they are seeing money. When they see things, they are seeing businesses out of it. because it has already influenced their minds and their thinking pattern. Now the sixth one has to do with what? Arts. Now arts has to do with what? Cultural displays, paintings, and what have you that is associated with art. Now art to a great extent influences everything about us, because most of the things we have in our society are product of what? Artworks. It has to do with what? The imagination, the cognitive thinking, thought and pattern. So the way we think, the way we relate to physical things actually affects the society. Now the seventh one has to do with what? The media. Now media has to do with what? Music, the news, and every other thing we have in the entertainment world, and that is media. Now the media has made it or is being seen in a way that everybody needs to blow in the society. Everybody needs to hammer so they'll be recognized by the media. So these seven items are actually what? The seven mountains of influence. Whoever that is not influenced by religion might be influenced by education. If the person is not influenced by education, the person might be influenced by government. If the person is not influenced by government, the person might be influenced by business. If the person is not influenced by business, the person might be influenced by the family. Now, if the family doesn't influence someone, the media might influence the person. Then, if the media doesn't influence the person, then arts could be a major influence to someone's life. So above all, nature made it in a way that what we should relate very well with these what seven mountains of influence, because they should guide the way we think, they should guide our understanding, they should guide the way we relate with our external environment. They are actually amazing mountains of influence. Now, in our society today, a whole lot of people are utilizing these very mountains. In the religious space, we have amazing people. In the place of entertainment, we have amazing people. These are mountains. Now, these mountains is a platform for us to exhibit our purposes. It's a platform given to us by nature, given to us by God, to exhibit that very gift that we have. So for the fact that we are to be influenced by these very mountains doesn't mean that we should use it in the wrong way. Now, when you get to understand these seven mountains of influence, now you begin to appreciate why we have the footballers. You begin to appreciate why we have the medical doctors. You begin to appreciate why we have so many craftsmen and skills in the society. Choose your own mountain carefully. Don't be influenced by the mountains of other people. There is a particular skill I'm giving to you to access that mountain. If you are given the skill to write, that means your own mountain of influence has to do with what? Education. Whoever that has the skill of writing should not be consigned with the mountain of entertainment. They are two different mountains. You don't have the skills to climb these mountains. You don't have the skills to access these mountains. So why struggling to fix yourself in where you don't belong? So the earlier you understand or you have a better understanding of these mountains of influence, the better you know where you fit in the society. The year 2021 is a year to determine your own mountain. You know what you are made of. Now you've learned and heard about these seven mountains of influence. It is now left for you as a person to go sit down, think and ask yourself, which of these mountains do I actually belong to? Which of these mountains has nature given to me that I should excel and glorify God's name? Because that is the essence of these mountains, for us to live a purposeful life, a life of purpose, a life of impact. That is the essence of these very mountains. So don't be influenced in the negative direction. If you must be influenced positively, so that you will live, and after your life on earth it still continues. Build a system around your mountain. If you need to train people. If you need resources, if you need to form a team, form a team. But in whatever you do, make sure you select the right mountain. Thank you so much. My name remains true, Chidozie Igwe. Thank you once again.